No mai haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. National's Andrew Bailey has resigned as the Minister of Commerce and the Minister of ACC after he said he placed his hand on the upper arm of one of his staffers during an animated discussion. He described his behaviour as overbearing. It's the second incident he's been involved in after he called a worker at a business he was visiting a loser. Bailey resigned on Friday, but now questions are being asked about why it took the government until today to announce it. Senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch has more.
Bringing the full artillery to bring a focus to law and order, police commissioner and all.
As I've said before, gangs are not nice people.
Flaunting his crackdown on crime.
It has, of course, been 3 months since our government introduced new laws to support police in cracking down on gangs and their criminal activity.
But the Prime Minister forced to focus on cracking down on his own cabinet.
Any other questions on law and order? Okay, great.
Andrew Bailey, strike two and out of here.
Concerns have been raised with me about an incident in which my behaviour towards a staff member was overbearing, and for that I'm deeply sorry.
Bailey has admitted he was having an animated discussion about work with a staff member and he placed a hand on their upper arm.
I touched their upper arm and it's obviously a matter that's inappropriate.
He wouldn't detail what animated discussion actually meant other than to call it lively.
It is what it is. It is the fact that we had an animated discussion, and the point is that at one point I put my hand on their upper arm.
3 News understands he grabbed the staff member, but not in a violent or sexual manner.
I held their arm.
Was there a complaint made?
Sorry?
Was there a complaint made?
There has been a complaint made.
It's the second conduct incident involving Bailey. Last October, he was forced to publicly apologise for calling a worker at a business he visited a loser, holding up an L sign on his forehead and allegedly telling them to, quote, go home, take some wine and F off. The latest incident happened on Tuesday last week. The Prime Minister wasn't informed for 2 whole days.
On the Tuesday last week, I was informed on Thursday. There were obviously discussions with staff over Thursday, Friday. On Friday evening, very, very late, Andrew called me and resigned.
The Prime Minister then decided, despite appearing before media on Saturday,
Christchurch, eh? Hey, what a great place to be at the moment, I reckon.
To sit on the news for the entire weekend.
I just say to you all, I think that's been pretty quick to move as fast as we have within the week.
Allowing it to drag over the weekend is just unbelievable. Having a minister resign and not telling everybody for several days about it, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
To be honest, I would have had difficulty doing this interview over the last couple of days. I've had to talk to my family.
So I think we've moved really quickly through that, but I think it's quite reasonable that actually he has a chance to talk to his own family about his decision, which is a very big one.
How long did you give MPs to tell their families before telling the public?
A couple of hours.
Both the Prime Minister and Bailey were at pains to point out that the resignation was Bailey's own decision.
I've held myself to account, a personal account. This is my decision.
He came forward of his own volition to say, listen, I hadn't met my own standards.
In this case, we've now got ministers sacking themselves when the Prime Minister should have showed some leadership.
The PM even correcting media who said Luxon had sacked him.
Sacked a minister, so... No, I haven't. A minister has had an incident happen with an interaction with his staff. He has felt that very clearly that he has not met his own standards, and he has come and resigned himself.
Well, he's just making himself look particularly weak, I would have thought. In one case, I received a minister's resignation and I refused to accept it because I dismissed them from their job.
There are still questions about the incident left unanswered, but Bailey spoke for just 4 minutes and 17 seconds.
And that's why we're announcing it today. Thank you very much.
Before deciding that was enough.
Oh, kia ora, Jenna. So Bailey has resigned, but was it a sackable offence?
Just to reiterate what I said in my story there is no suggestion that this touching of the arm was violent or sexual in any manner. It was not an assault. It did not reach the threshold of having to go to police. It was more an inappropriate workplace interaction. But from what I understand, Bailey didn't recognise that initially. It wasn't until that complaint was laid, and even then it took him a couple of days to come around to the idea that he had done something wrong and he needed to go. Now, this is also Bailey's second strike. He used up his diversion on Losergate with the worker at the winery, so even more imperative for him to be on his best behaviour, and he wasn't. Christopher Luxon was at pains to point out that he had not sacked Bailey, that he had resigned. That could be an exercise in precedent setting, because there have been a number of occasions where there have been calls for ministers to be sacked by Luxon. They are often coalition party members, and therefore he has less power over them. I'm told that Bailey has apologised personally to the staff member involved, and that a lot of staff members are devastated to see him go.